Ready? Are we on?
All ready.
Okay. Good evening, members. We're about to start our board meeting with our open session items. We have 6 of those. Welcome to the meeting. We have all of our board members here. That would be me, Ann, Cindy, Denise, Jean, Ken, Laura, Linda, Liz, and Rachel. And Cal is here too. So the first item that we have on the adult, usually what we do is when we need to discuss something, we go around and give everybody a chance, and I kind of have people's names in order by alphabetical order. And so that's how we do this. We start with me or Cindy, whichever one has something to say, and Cindy doesn't like that, but that's how it is. So first item, each board member, please identify yourself when you start to talk. So the first item is to ratify the June email business. And usually we have someone make a motion and second that, and then we vote on that.
And this is Cindy. I'll make a motion to ratify the June email votes.
All righty. And then we need
Denise, I second that.
Denise?
Yeah.
Denise seconds. So Cindy, we have a motion on the floor that Cindy moved and Denise seconded that we ratify the June email business. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. The next item is a system update, and Rachel will give us that, and that is the board system liaison, who's Rachel, will report on ongoing progress of the system upgrade. Rachel, take it away.
We actually have the committee working now, and it was decided that we were going to break out the requests for quote into 2 different items, one for the ongoing monthly maintenance of the website and the other for future development. Joyce Charon, a new member of the system committee, has just completed the RFP for the website maintenance. We're having now, but hopefully should be getting that to the board probably next week. When it comes to the board, it will most likely come to the board as an emergency motion, because this is critical to ASCA. It's taken us a little while to get it off and running. So that's where we are right now, guys. Does anyone have any questions about the system upgrade?
I think adding Joyce was really good. She's very helpful.
Absolutely. Between her and Allie, their technical expertise is unparalleled, and I think that's a real positive for ASCA.
I agree, 100%.
That's all I have, guys.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. Anybody else with any questions or anything? Okay, the next item is Stock Dog Committee response to the board 18.28 revised Stock Dog Judge Applicant Procedure. And this will be the liaison, Jean Roberts, telling us about that.
I sent everybody the motion that's been made. The final vote from the committee is due on the 25th, and it will be before the board for the August cycle.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? All right, the next item is the General Data Protection Regulation, and that's also coming from Rachel.
There is a new policy that went into effect actually in Europe back in May, and we were a bit late in being notified on this. And so actually Ray was very proactive in that he attended a class on policies and personal information, and during that class they did discuss this a bit, but even in the class, it was stated that for American businesses, I'm not quite sure of all of the interactions and how that's going to go with the new law in Europe. So Ray created a personal data policy for privacy that will be posted on the ASCA website. We sent that to ASCA's counsel, Chuck Carnese, and he had a couple of questions which we answered, and he approved it. And the only other thing that I will say is that we will later creating a document to go to mainly right now all of our European members to ensure that they are aware of the privacy policy and have approved their personal data to be stored on ASCA's website, because we are a registry and because each dog is registered to individuals, their information, their personal private information will be retained on the ASCA website. At some point in time, we may need to go back and say 7 or 10 years from now and develop a statement regarding the fact that those records must be retained indefinitely, and we may need to get people to sign off on that. So we're still studying exactly how it's going to affect us, but right now we would like to get the privacy policy that Ray has created approved and added to the website. Does anyone have any questions?
I don't. I think it's great. I think it's great that we're on top of this.
All right, that's all I have then. I think Ray created a great policy, and Chuck said so also. So we should get it up on the website as soon as we approve this. And I'm hoping that we can approve this tonight.
So we need everybody to, we need everybody to go to the Dropbox and look it all over.
Yes, please, because I would, like I said, I would like to call that for vote tonight, Ann, because it actually was enacted in May. So we really do need to get this up on the website as soon as possible.
So basically, just to inform everybody of what this is, there's a page of definition, and then there's information collection and use, and it says,
Right.
We collect several different types of information for various purposes to provide and improve our service to you. Types of data collected: personal data, and just to list them briefly: email address, first name, last name, phone number, address, state, province, zip, postal code, city, cookies, and usage data. And then it says, we may use your personal data to contact you with newsletters, marketing, or promotional materials, and other information. And basically, that's what it is. There are tracking cookies as well, and that's mentioned in this. And the examples of cookies would be session cookies, preference cookies, security cookies. Use of data. The Australian Shepherd Club of America uses the collected data for various purposes: to improve and maintain our service, to notify you about changes to our service, to allow you to participate in interactive features of our service when you choose to do so, to provide customer service, to gather analysis or valuable information so that we can improve our service, to monitor the usage of our service, to detect, prevent, and address technical issues, to provide you with news, special offers, and general information about goods, services, and events. And let's see if there's anything else. Rachel, do you think there's anything else that's important to bring out?
Well, not at this time. And if we find later on down the road that we need to add or modify or correct this in any way, we will do so. But right now, it's just imperative that we get our privacy, ASCA's privacy policy up and running. And there was a question by a member out on the ASC members list, and I explained to Calla, since I'm traveling, I will go back and review and answer that next week. But I do not think that that will prevent us from approving this tonight.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. This is Laura. I'll make a motion to approve.
We already have a motion.
I was going to say we have a motion. The motion was out there by me and Ken seconded, guys.
Oh, pardon me.
I
Okay.
just moved the question.
Thank you, Ken. I didn't hear you. Well, then
I'm
Oh, that's
sorry.
sorry.
I have nothing to say. Thanks.
All right.
It's been
So we have
posted to the ASCA members list, and it's also up on the website too, just to let everybody know.
Okay, so then people
Right. I mean, it was posted in both places to ensure that folks could, review it before we voted on it.
Okay, thank you. So the motion was by Rachel and seconded by Ken.
Yes, ma'am.
And out there for people to see. So do we have any further discussion?
Ann, it's Cindy. I have one question.
Okay.
Rachel, do we have to just put this on our website, or do we have to actually mail a copy of this to each European member? Do they have to sign off on it, or do we just have to notify them?
To my knowledge, Cindy, we have to post it on our website. But like I said, we are most probably going to do more due diligence on that. We're probably going to reach out to each one of our European members personally to ensure that they are aware of ASCA's privacy policy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just wondered if there was a mailing or just a posting.
We're going to post it, but we've got to create a document to go out to our European members to ensure that they are aware of the privacy policy and that they do approve it. Approve their information on the website.
Okay, now if just receiving it, they'll approve it, or if we don't, are we going to need someone to acknowledge that they approve, and there might be some stuff we have to pull off the website if we don't hear back from them?
We were going to follow up, like I said, with our European members to ensure that they are aware of the privacy policy and that they do approve their current information that is on the website to be continued to be stored. And we only store, remember guys, we only store the information related to dog registries. We do not store any credit card information that is done through a third party, authorized.net. So none of that information is stored on the ASCA website. It's only the information related to the registry and or any other business that they've conducted with ASCA. Online registries and such as that. So it is essentially only the dog registry information that we store.
Is there any further discussion? Do we need to go around? Let me know. Okay, then all in favor, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Say nay. Are there any abstentions? Okay, then motion carried. So our next item is introduction to Ask a Stock Dog program, and Jean Roberts is going to tell us about that.
Well, I sent everybody the progress report. They hope to commence working on this tomorrow. So I can't wait to see what they're going to bring us. They have 6 weeks.
Okie doke. Our next item is the European Advisory Committee. Ken?
Can we please discuss that report from the Stock Dog Committee?
Yes, I'm sorry.
My concern is that I just saw, prior to getting into the meeting, there was posted just prior to the meeting comments from both Ann and Jean stating how somehow the fact that we have not heard anything, nor have they addressed all of the negative comments, they've all ascribed it to just Jerry being a new chair. I think that what we really need to do at this point in time, since this issue has been ongoing for years, we really need to address two things. First, we need to address and find out exactly what Jean believes her position as a liaison of the board to a committee is, where the responsibility lies in her mind on communicating ASCA between both the committee and the board, both of which are ASCA, and we're supposed to be working together. I don't see that happening. And I don't see anybody making any effort to make that happen. I think that it is credible to say that there's been delay, there's been ignoring, there's been just let it go. If we don't say anything, maybe somebody won't say anything. And I think that we've got to get to that point where all of this stuff, where the people in the Stock Dog program are saying that they're getting short shrift, they're not getting their proper due, that other programs have finals, but that their finals aren't as important, on and on and on, whatever else we could possibly talk about, there still is no communication. That's why I believe that Jerry's poll and how he inserted the issue of the intro to Stock Dog program, it's invalid because of the fact that we've never ever been able to explain or had a real adult conversation about what the intro to Stock Dog program is supposed to be and what we would like to see it be, and have everybody contribute to that. All we see is a lot of what ASCA has turned into over the past 20 years, and ever since the inception of the finals, a lot of anger, a lot of personal interest. We've lost camaraderie, and we've lost focus on exactly what ASCA's mission is. I don't think that we adhere to our mission statement, or what we're here to do is to promote and protect a breed. We have become locked into making money and giving members great opportunities to shine in a particular way that has been created for them. So I think we really need to take a step back and look at these issues before we go forward. And we need to have a real conversation instead of all this antagonistic, verbose, bullying discussion that we've been subjected to for the past 2 years. So I really would like to see the Stock Dog Committee figure out a way that they, as assigned representatives appointed by this board to help this board address the issues relevant to the Stock Dog Committee. The board has been trying to find ways to communicate with them. We've been totally unsuccessful. I really want to see something positive from them on what they can do to bring a positive outlook to the table and sit down and discuss with the board of directors everything that's important to ASCA in relation to this issue. And Jean, I would like you to please explain to us what is your theory on what a liaison is supposed to do between the board and the committee. Because all of this stuff about the committee not seeing the budget information, about not knowing what's going on, about not knowing that this is their directive, this is inexcusable. Many times I have requested, I have attempted to communicate with that committee, and you have not assisted me in doing that. So please tell me, what do I have to look forward to?
Ken, there are so many questions in your statement that I don't even know where to start. And since this is not an agenda item, I will not be speaking to this.
do believe, Madam Chair, that this is an agenda item. This is extremely germane and pertinent to the discussion that we are attempting to have. The fact that you attempted to quickly bypass the real issues behind this issue. This is pertinent. The membership needs to hear this discussion. The membership needs to be part of this discussion. And the membership needs to hear everybody's opinion who are attempting to try and move this discussion forward. So to continually ignore something and hope it'll go away, to continually say that that's not on the agenda, I'm not going to speak to you about it, it's ridiculous. What are we talking about here? Come on.
Can we try to break this down and have one item at a time and try to deal with it that way?
I only listed 2 items, so I'm willing to allow you to pick the items that we discussed.
Just briefly name the 2 items so that we know what we're talking about.
Number 1, committee cooperation and understanding that the board of directors is not the enemy of the Stock Dog Committee, and that we really would like the Stock Dog Committee to find a way to work with the board of directors. Number 2, Jean, as the liaison of the board to the Stock Dog Committee and vice versa, I would like to understand what it is that her philosophy, what philosophy is she following, because she's not following the rules that are written in our policy procedure where we are supposed to have open discourse. The only way for the board at this point in time to discuss anything with the Stock Dog Committee is through the liaison, and that's not happening. So those are the 2 issues.
The only thing I can think of to do now is, I'm not sure what to do now because I feel personally blindsided by this level of questioning and I want to deal with it, but I'm kind of at a loss. So if someone can suggest ways of helping to deal with discussing this, I would be open to those. I can go around and get everybody's opinion, or I can try to force Jean to talk about the liaison issue, but I don't know what's going to happen. So any suggestions?
And this is Liz.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the communication with the Stock Dog Committee, I have been thinking for quite a while now if it wouldn't be helpful to actually have a teleconference with them sometime soon, like way before nationals, and see if we can at least communicate. In a certain, I can see in a sense what Ken is trying to say. There seems to be a lot of misinformation out there or misunderstandings about what the directives are seeking, what the board is trying to do, and I'm not sure where that is coming from. I don't know if it's the language of our emotions or if it's or what. So I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there that maybe, having an open discussion with the Stock Dog Committee may be a way to deal with it. It's just a suggestion I'm throwing out there. Thanks.
I like that a lot.
Anne?
Yes.
This is Laura.
Hello.
I think that's a great idea, Liz, because I think for whatever reason, there is a lot of miscommunication going on right now. I've been fielding several phone calls, fielding several emails, where there's just some misinformation and miscommunication, and that's just not helpful. And so I think Liz's idea is a good one because I think we're all on the same team and we all need to move forward together in a positive manner. And I hear Ken's frustration, and I feel some of that same frustration, but I think we just need to figure out a solution. There's obviously miscommunication. There's been a breakdown of communication. We need to refocus and solve the problem And I think Liz has a good solution. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go around now so that we hit everybody. So Cindy, what do you have about this?
I'll attend a teleconference if that's what the Stock Dog Committee and the board chooses. I have no problems with the committee at the moment.
Okay, Denise, what do you think?
I think that Liz's idea of a telecommunication session with the Stock Dog Committee is excellent, because when we talked about some of the things in the boardroom about the directives, we had a chance to discuss several items and what we expected, and the directive may not be as well presented as our discussions were. So there very easily could be some parts of it that were left out, or that were not stressed, or that they don't realize. And I think it'd be a great idea to have that session as soon as possible and get it out and open so that everybody hears the same information, both the board and the Stock Dog Committee. Thank you.
Jean, do you have anything? Jean, do you have anything?
Jerry has asked for a conference call, so I think that's a great idea.
Okay, very good. Ken?
I think that a conference call with the committee has been on the table for a very long time. We did have an opportunity where we were attempting to talk to all the chairs on a monthly basis, and that only lasted for 1 month and was never followed up. So yes, of course, that's what we need to do. These are all things we need to do to try and help people understand that ASCA is just one group of people all going in the same direction. And we have to make certain that we all agree as to what direction that is. So that is why the second question of asking Jean to explain why the committee just doesn't seem to understand directives or has the information that the board has approved to give them as far as budgets. And I mean, everything that they're questioning and wanting to know why, we've already said they could have. I don't know why they don't have it. So that's why my question to Jean was, what's going on? Why is the board's position not being delivered to this committee?
Okay, Linda, do you have anything to add?
No, but I'm good with the conference call.
Okay. Liz, do you have anything else?
You skipped me.
I'll be back to you, Laura. You had a chance. I want to pick up everybody else, and I'll promise to come back to you.
No, I don't have anything else. I thought actually by looking at their communications and stuff that they had the information that they wanted. They just weren't. I really didn't understand what else they wanted. I mean, they had the reports. I mean, it's, so I don't know. I thought they had it, but they didn't. So I just think that we need to like really communicate and talk, you know, to each other and see where the breakdown is. Because obviously we're not into the same tune and we're not following the same beat. So maybe having this teleconference will alleviate all of it and will help with both questions that Ken has, I hope. Thanks.
Okay, next, Laura. I did not mean to skip you. You can go right now.
Okay, Ann. I just wanted to say, Cindy said something, she's pleased with the committee. I'm not displeased with the committee. I think good work is happening. I think some of it's disjointed because there's miscommunication, but you know, I think that we can solve it with Liz's plan. Thanks.
Okie doke. Rachel?
My concern is for the Stock Dog Committee and the board to work together, and that has not been happening. We have been referred to in very disingenuous manner by persons on the Stock Dog Committee. Is the board this and the board that, and that must stop. So therefore, I do believe that a teleconference to get us all on the same page to ensure that we're all working for ASCA. The board is not some nefarious organization that is looking to create issues for our programs. We are there to serve ASCA, support the programs, and ensure the financial continuity of the entire ASCA family. So we certainly have not singled out the Stock Dog Committee, and really would like to continue to work with them in a positive manner for ASCA. So that was a great idea. Thank you, Liz.
I also think it's a really great idea, and I think we should set it up and do it very soon, sometime next week perhaps, so that we can get it taken care of quickly. I do think that the committee has been given the information that they need. I know that Jean provided several times with, for instance, the for the finals budgets and things like that. I know she did that several times, and I know she did it on various lists. But I don't know. I guess Jean can speak for herself. So the next thing, do you want to say anything, Jean?
No. No.
Okay. Do you feel like you follow the committee procedures as the way the liaison is described?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I've read the committee procedures. I actually made a bunch of changes to the committee procedures. I believe it's my job to be a conduit of information from the board to the committee and vice versa. I think part of the problem is a matter of perception. Some of the things that some people look at as problems, I don't see as problems. And that's, we're all human. We all have different backgrounds, different upbringing, and different ideas. Just like our dogs are all different. So I can assure you that anytime I see negativity towards the board, I talk about it because I don't think it's productive. I also don't think it's productive for the board to be negative towards the committee. I think both of those things, are negative and breed more negative. I do believe that having a conference call will, I think, surely help clear the air.
Does anybody want to say anything else?
This is Denise. I think we should schedule this as quickly as possible so that the Stock Dog Committee will have the maximum time in order to get things accomplished that the directives ask for.
Does anybody have a good evening that would be good for them next week? Or bad for them, let's say?
This is
Any
Rachel.
evening.
Midweek is good for me.
Okay, midweek, Rachel. Anybody else for any nights that are not good? Okay, so maybe we can work on something for Wednesday night. So the next thing would be to reach out to the committee. So Jean, will you do that? Will you invite them to a meeting with us next Wednesday? And Cal, are you available then?
Yep, I'll get something set up if that works for everyone.
Okay,
I'm sending Jerry a text right now.
thank you.
So we're scheduling this then tentatively for Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time.
Yes, I think that's good. Is that everybody else agree? Provided the members of the committee can join us that night.
Great idea, Liz. Thanks.
Yeah, I think this is going to go a long way. I really, really do.
Good job, Liz.
Are we ready to move on? Okay, the next item is the European Advisory Committee with Ken.
Well, I really don't have much to report. I just, Luke sent me an email kind of saying, hi, welcome to the committee. I don't get any responses from anything I send out, and I see people still responding to the first email sent to them to be on the IO group. So I totally would like to be clear of this issue given Ann's attitude towards me taking it at the spring meeting. It's obvious that Luke does not want to converse with me and is not confident that I can help them get a chair and a liaison. And I am totally at a loss why a group of people who are so distant from ASCA in the United States are unwilling to stand up for themselves and help us understand what it is that ASCA can do to better serve them. I mean, this is the group that should have sent us the information that was needed for this privacy motion that we have to hurry up and do because one of our American members noticed that, hey, they're doing this. We got to do something. So I don't know if it's a cultural difference or whatever, but if the European people aren't really interested in helping this organization take care of their needs, since we already know that they have special needs and that they need things changed around a little bit to help support their use of our programs, I don't know why we're beating this horse to death if they're not willing to participate. So I would like to pick someone else to deal with this issue because I pretty much just wash my hands of it. I don't understand this at all.
Can I just explain something? And that is that I think you got put on the new IO group when you became the liaison. And for some reason, all those people got invited, but they didn't switch over. So they were discussing things that you weren't privy to. When Elaine got put on that group, he got put on for some reason. He responded to the Yahoo group, and he's the new person from the German competition club. And he started the discussion, and they all started to jump in there, but you weren't on that group. So that's why when I realized what was going on there, because of where I was getting I'm part of that group just because I was the liaison and because I helped get it started. And I noticed that they were all talking on Yahoo. So I got with not Ken, I'm sorry, Ray. And I asked him to send out a new invitation to everybody and to tell them and to also close down the Yahoo group. So yes, I think they're a little slower than the rest of us, but that's only been about a week since he did that. So I think once we get everybody over to the IO group, then there could be a chance for more discussion. And I don't know where you get the idea that I'm not confident in you, because I think that I have no problem with you being the liaison to this group whatsoever. And I encourage you to stay with it. And one thing I was going to offer is if you want me to help you get it started at first by communicating to the group as well, I'd be happy to do that. The thing we have on the agenda is that we have a person from one of the clubs. This is the way this was set up is each club that's over in Europe was asked to put somebody on the committee. So there was a person who used to be on there who resigned, And now Elaine is the one that needs to go on. So Ken, do you just want to make a motion about putting him on the committee? And I'll
No,
second
I
it.
want to. No, I want to say that it's very clear that I have your assessment of what's going on here does not track with the timelines that I've been working with. Back in May, I asked Ray to add me and to make sure that everyone else was on the IO group, and I thought he was starting to do that. I have multiple times sent messages to Luke based on how our office communicates with Luke, with never a response. It is quite clear that I do not believe Luke wishes to discuss any of this with me, and it just seems to be totally disjointed. I think that this whole thing about it's not making any sense. I based on what you said to me at the spring meeting, I would like to have you pick someone else to carry forward with this. I do not want to be involved with it.
Okay.
It's not making any sense to me. And what I would like to have for the European community, apparently they don't want for themselves. So let somebody else give it a try, because I have failed.
Okay. Do we want to deal with this offline, or is there somebody that, as a board member, that would like to become involved in this?
I'll try it. This is Laura.
Okay.
This was
Laura?
something I advocated for when we first started it, and I think there is a need for it. I just don't. Maybe we just haven't given it the structure that it needs to be successful. So let's try one more time.
Okay, that's great. So we'll get you added onto the group, and we'll let everybody know that, and I can help with that. And then we'll move on from there and see if there's a chance to keep it going. Does anybody have anything they want to say? Cindy, do you want to say anything?
No, I just wondered if maybe we should vote that member, if Laura wants to put forward a motion to approve the new member so that we get her hooked up to the group.
Good idea.
That's fine. I'll do that.
Okay. And to the members, the reason we're appointing somebody is it's a new committee, and it needs help getting going. Once it's going, then they can start doing the things that the other committees do by nominating and electing their own liaison of their choice. But we really kind of need to give it an extra touch here just to get it going. So Laura, do you want to make that motion?
Yes, I make that motion, and I guess if I'm going to, I'm really not their liaison. Am I temporarily the liaison? I mean, what do you want me to?
Yes,
how do you see that, Anne?
I want you to be their liaison to get the group going again, because that's what Ken was doing. Ken doesn't want to do that, so if you'll do that, that would be great.
Okay.
Well, it's not that Ken
fine.
doesn't want to do it. It's Ken has acknowledged that he has failed, and somebody else needs to step in and try and make it work now.
Okay, so Denise, do you have anything?
No, I think that it's a good chance to try to see what's really happening, and if that's, if it's a communication with the different group situation, maybe we can get it straightened out. Thank you, Laura, for volunteering.
Jean?
No, I have nothing.
Okay, Ken?
I'm good.
Laura?
No, I'm good.
Linda?
I'm good.
Liz?
I'm good. Thank you, Laura.
Rachel?
No, I'm good. I appreciate Laura stepping up, and the only thing I will say is, to Ken's point, this committee has been seated for a while now, and if they do not move forward and actually are productive, we may want to look at other options. Thank you, Laura.
Laura, you're going to move that Elaine Kamens be
Elaine Kamen,
appointed?
yeah. Yeah, I move that Elaine Kamens be appointed to the committee to take the place of Agnes Neugebauer on the European Advisory Committee.
I'll second. I guess we don't need a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Ann, this is Ken.
Yes. Ken.
I just want to say that when I was given this assignment, it was very difficult to try and manage getting hold of these people and get everything going. It was very disappointing to find that it wasn't working out, and I think it was very responsible of me to admit that there's probably a reason why I was not be able to make this work, and to step aside and let somebody else see if they can make it work. I would just like to say that you're welcome for the work that I did attempt to do to try and help the European community become more active in the asca program.
I appreciate it, Ken. Does anybody have anything else to say? Okay, that includes our open session. Thank you for joining us. And we will now hang up and go on with our meeting.